All right, let's take a look at the next sample question. The STEM reads, after reviewing the cost optimization checks in AWS Trusted Advisor, a team finds that it has 10,000 Amazon Elastic Block Store snapshots in its account that are more than 30 days old. The team has determined that it needs to implement better governance for the lifecycle of its resources. Which actions should the team take to automate the lifecycle management of the EBS snapshots with the least effort? Select 2. All right, breaking this question down, I'm first identifying the problem statement. The team has determined that it needs to implement better governance for the lifecycle of its resources. And for what resource? Amazon EBS snapshots. Then it asks us what actions to take to automate the lifecycle management of EBS snapshots. And the question also wants us to choose the answer that would require the least amount of effort. Okay, now let's take a look at the responses. First is A, create and schedule a backup plan with AWS Backup. B, copy the EBS snapshots to Amazon S3 and then create lifecycle configurations in the S3 bucket. C, use Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager. D, use scheduled event in Amazon EventBridge and invoke AWS step functions to manage the snapshots. And E, schedule and run backups in AWS Systems Manager. We will now take a pause for you to select an answer. Okay, you have 3 seconds before I reveal the keys. 3, 2, 1. The keys for this one are A, create and schedule a backup plan with AWS Backup, and C, use Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager. The team wants to automate the lifecycle management of EBS snapshots. AWS Backup is a backup service that automates backup processes for application data across AWS services in the AWS cloud, including Amazon EBS. So this service could work to automate the taking of the EBS snapshots. AWS Backup provides a central place where you can configure and audit the AWS resources you want to back up, automate backup scheduling, set retention policies, and monitor all recent backup and restore activity. So this is definitely a correct answer for the scenario setup. Then for the second part of the answer, C, use Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager. Amazon DLM enables you to manage the lifecycle of your AWS resources through lifecycle policies. Lifecycle policies automate operations on specified resources. The team requires lifecycle management for EBS snapshots, and Amazon DLM supports EBS volumes and snapshots. So this is another correct answer. Both of these answers require less operational overhead than other potentially correct answers. So now let's go over the rest of the responses. First up is B, copy the EBS snapshots to Amazon S3 and then create lifecycle configurations in the S3 bucket. This answer is incorrect. While the solution meets the technical requirement, it does not meet the requirement for the least effort. To copy EBS snapshots and set up lifecycle policies on the S3 bucket, the team would need to provide manual effort or create scripts that would need to be hosted somewhere. When you compare this with the automated way Amazon DLM or AWS Backup uses, you can see why this answer is incorrect. Next is D, use a scheduled event in Amazon EventBridge and invoke AWS step functions to manage the snapshots. This response is incorrect for a few reasons. Though you could schedule Amazon CloudWatch events to invoke step functions itself cannot manage EBS snapshots. They would need to write code that then gets invoked by step functions that takes the backups of the EBS volumes. Setting all of this up would be a manual effort and would require more operational overhead than options A or C. On top of that, this does not account for the lifecycle management part of EBS snapshots. So this response is incorrect. Then lastly, there is E, schedule and run backups in AWS Systems Manager. While you could use run command to take backups and you could schedule this to run it automatically, it does not meet the requirement for the least effort, and it does not automate the lifecycle management of the backups. This solution requires more effort than the use of AWS Backup or Amazon DLM. You can see from this question that you need to be able to compare and contrast solutions based on certain requirements, like the least amount of effort or cost optimization. That is a big part of this exam, being able to compare and contrast solutions. Meeting technical requirements is often not enough. You should be reading and experimenting enough to be comfortable with storage solutions where you can in detail compare them to each other. That will help you be prepped for this exam.